on today's video, we continue our equipment series, and this time we're going to focus on attack. We're going to build 3 sets, a cavalry, infantry, and archer set that is going to focus on getting the most attack possible at any cost, and then we'll compare it to other sets we've built in this series and figure out whether or not it is worth it to focus on attack specifically, and if it is, for which type of troop, or if it isn't at all. So sit back, drop a like on this video. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. We're back with more equipment, and this time we're gonna focus on attack. Before we start though, I'm a sponsored content creator by Rise of Kingdoms. If you enjoy the content, consider dropping a like on the video, and of course, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell to get a notification every single time we upload a Rise of Kingdoms video. We got a few KVK coverages coming up with some very, very exciting action, so make sure you don't miss that by subscribing to the channel down below. Spoiler alert, we're gonna cover a nasty KVK on Wednesday on stream. You don't wanna miss that out. 4 p.m. UTC, maybe 4:15. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Like our previous video yesterday, card it up on the top right if you haven't seen that. We're going to build one set for each type of troop that's gonna focus strictly on getting the most attack. Someone has asked me whether it's worth it to build sets that are specific for specific types of stats, and we're checking it out. And so our first type of troop we're gonna go with is the most liked one and common one, and that is our cavalries. Now, as you can see up here, we have 3 different sets available. One of them, the top one, being the cheaper set, the one that if you're not going to invest a lot on a set, or you're a free-to-play player, or someone who's trying to build small sets for more troops, for more types of commanders, the top one is one of the better ones, and the middle one is like a top-tier creme de la creme of equipment for cavalry. And from there, we have this one right here, which focuses only on attack. Can you see a huge problem? Yeah, it's all purple and 1 gold. It's a stupidly long, expensive set to build. You can build 2 of the better ones, of the better set, of the big set, right? The middle set, 2 of them on the time that you build the one at the bottom. And yeah, I don't know whether or not this is worth it. Well, I do know, but let me show you how it worked out. So when it comes to a weapon, our weapon of choice is a Curious Scepter of Forest Guardian, 6% cavalry. Attack is fantastic. There is an 8% defense in here. There is 9% stats in here, but none of them are cavalry attack stats. We have cavalry attack down here for 4%, and then cavalry defense in here of 10%. 6% takes the cake. Scepter of the Forest Guardian. It's a purple piece of equipment, costs 100 purple materials to make. It's a stupendously long piece of equipment to make. 80 days long to be exact. Crazy. If you're crafting these equipments every single day at the 10 every 3 hours rate, give or take. Our next piece of equipment for the helmet is the Abyssal Visage. This time, we got away with it. Abyssal Visage was the better choice regardless. It's part of our better set in general. Well, technically speaking, our better set includes that too. Yeah, that's right. It's the Abyssal Visage. It's a great piece of equipment. The only problem with it is that you only get 2 blueprints, and that's it. So, yeah. I believe there's cavalry attack in here as well. No, it was infantry attack. We have cavalry attack in here as 2%er. And 3% infantry attack in here, it's kind of nutty, but cavalry attack, we pretty much got the Abyssal Visage, best thing we want, so awesome. Next, here comes the gold, baby, because in here we go straight to the Shadow Legion's Retribution. Now, this piece of equipment is going to take forever to get a blueprint out of. You need a lot of Shadow Legion chests until you get here. Yeah, I mean, for real. To make matters worse, 60 legendary pieces of equipment. At 5% cavalry attack, it's not bad. We have 5% defense out here. We have some health all over the place. 6% health this way, 5% defense this way, but we said attack only, and so we tackle the attack. Shadow Legion Retribution. If you're crafting 10 materials every 3 hours, enjoy crafting materials for this for 192 long days. Yeah, that's right. to craft this is almost as much as crafting like the best set that I gave you that is based on not only stats, but also best bang for your buck in terms of time. So yeah, Cavalry attack on Shadow Legion Retribution. Going to the gloves, I believe we get the same gloves as the top tier set, which is the Isid Sufferance. Big problem with it is that you're limited on blueprints. Thankfully, on the first, what was it? It was Osiris League. They really messed that one up and gave us a bunch of blueprints. This time around, you get only one at a time, so it's a little bit frustrating, but 3% cavalry attack is fantastic. There are other ways 2% cavalry attack in here, and that's about that in terms of attack. There is 3% cavalry attack down here as well, but in here you have also health. And as much as I'd like to potentially pair up some of these for a revival set, I was gonna say gauntlet, but a revival set, this works out better for us. Isid's Sufferance is what you want if you are going for straight cavalry attack. And here we landed on the money, and that is Karok's Humility. Karok's Humility with a 5% cavalry attack is pretty much the best you can get attack-wise. There's a 4% attack, which is so much cheaper as the green piece of equipment with a 1% health. So I would honestly say you're better off with this. But again, for the sake of experiment, we're doing this. Cavalry attack 3% on the normal pants, for crying out loud, and then no more cavalry attack. Karok Humility it is, and 5% for our attack bank we earn. A nice little 72 long days worth of building. Materials. Our final piece is indeed the Cloud Racers, a 2% cavalry attack. I believe it's the only, we have 1% cavalry attack here, and that's that. So a purple piece of equipment for one more of these. I could tell you that I would maybe consider Cloud Racers, because on your downtime when you're not cavalrying, you can put it on a gatherer and get that 6% extra gathering, which is kind of cool. I feel like that would maybe justify a little bit the investment-ish. But you can get 5% in here plus 1% in here. So really, because these two would be much cheaper than that. Just saying. But with that said, if we bring back our sets, which you can see is very simple. Our total stats for the best top-end set that I could come up with, which is also the cheaper, it takes into account the fact that, you know, you don't want to go crazy building like legendaries and all that. You get a stupid amount of stats. I mean, we're talking 38% worth of stats, 14.5 cavalry attack, 12% cavalry defense, 11.5% cavalry health. But our final set drops you down 10 full % worth of stats. It takes all your defense out. It takes most of your health out, with the exception of the 3% health. That's that. And you gain a 25%, 10.5% extra increase on your cavalry attack. I don't know if I would be okay with losing 10% total stats for 10.5 more stats on the cavalry attack. This is the first time I can see kind of the math working out if you are looking straight for attack. But even then, like, I don't know who gives up on total stats for one specific type of stat. I don't think this is a good idea. Plus the fact that it'll take you double the time that it'll take you to get that best set available. You can almost get 2 of the best sets available. In that price, of course, Abyssal Visage might be your problem, because, yeah. Anyway, that was Cavalry. Not worth it. I would not go for Cavalry attack set, period. When it comes to Infantry, this story is, well, you're about to find out. Same applies as Cavalry. The top one is the cheaper one. The middle one is what I would say is the best set available. Big Boy Whale set. And this right here is our Infantry attack set. Now, our Infantry attack set seems reasonable. We have one legendary in there, but at 340 days compared to the 494 days it'll take you to get the big boys thing out, this one's not bad. Granted, the cheaper set has like 4% less stats, and it takes quite literally almost 10% of the time that it takes you to get the attack set. Just saying, keep that in mind. and let's go on with it. So, for infantry attack, our weapon of choice is the Gatekeeper's Shield. The reason for that, yeah, no infantry attack available. And so we go with the best thing we can go with right now, which is this right here, 5% infantry health, and that's that. For the helmet, I was looking at the armor. For the helmet, we go with the Mask of the Forest Guardian. 4% infantry attack is the best infantry attack you're going to get out of anything. You have 3% infantry attack in here. Granted, this is a limited piece of equipment, which I would probably say you're better off with cavalry than for infantry. And you can get more of these, I'm assuming. I haven't seen these in a while, actually. Expedition of the War, not good. No infantry attack. No infantry attack on the Iron Helm. 3%. It's actually sick compared to the 4% that you got to pay quadrillion more materials on this than on that. But hey, this is the top set and infantry defense available in the Revival Helm as well. When we look at all that, the helmet is going to run you about 72 days worth of crafting materials, and in return, it'll give you 4% infantry attack. We go back into the Shadow Legion once more. Infantry attack 5% is the best percentage we could find. I believe there are more infantry attacks. Yeah, Quinn Soul will give you a nice 4%. On the ultimate set, I believe that I had Quinn Soul as the better piece, and that was primarily because of the time it takes to craft Shadow Legion and to get Shadow Legion, while Quinn Soul you can get much quicker and much cheaper for a 1% trade-off. Of course, the Big Boil Whale set can get even better. We didn't go for the Ultimate Killer. We might go for the Ultimate Killer sets video. What do you guys think? You want an ultimate killer set? The best of the best you can get. If you had all the time and everything available, do you want to see that? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. But yeah, infantry attack is also not something that's too available. You have 3% on Commander Heavy, but really to get this from the quests, you are very limited on it. And that's about that. Funnily enough, she keeps showing up every time I record a video. Again, Quinn Soul will be nice for you, but our top end, Shadow Legion Retribution. Granted, one thing you should keep in mind is, of course, if I take that Shadow Legion out for 3% Quinn Soul, we're literally going to drop our production from the Shadow Legion Retribution, which takes 192 days to create. It drops down drastically to 72 days. So almost 1/3 of the time, right? So keep that in mind as well on our full set times and calculations. We went to the extreme with the infantry attack. We did not go to the extreme. We went with the best available bang for your buck for the best set. When it comes to gloves, the Revival Gauntlet took the crown, 3% infantry attack. Curiously enough, infantry attack is not as popular. Especially in the gloves department. All you got is gauntlets, the Revival Gauntlets. They're neat. They give you a nice little 3%. And they take a little bit to create. And of course, good luck getting the blueprints. I have yet to get even a single piece of material, I think, of a blueprint fragment. Curiously enough, again, when it comes to pants, okay, well, our only infantry attack sets here, Ranger's Trousers, which is not terrible. Loharing for it is a nightmare and a half. I can tell you that much. I have one, and that's all I want. 2% infantry attack is worth it. Sure, good luck Loharing for this. It's a nightmare. If you're someone who is new to Rise of Kingdoms and in the process of getting your Lohar, you're lucky. You got to do Lohars for blueprints and for the commander as well. When I was doing my Lohars, there was no blueprints. So I had to re-Lohar until I got one equipment blueprint. 2%, and it's green. Easy peasy. That's about that on the infantry attack. Now, the shoes are kind of an interesting story. Because really, these are the only ones, the boots of Reverence. Now I think these also come from Ian's Ballads, so at least you can get it from all the Ian Ballads rather than only the Nightmare in Hell, which is good. It's a fairly cheap piece of equipment, 2% infantry attack, and that pretty much wraps the set. Now if we go look back at the sets, you can see that we are going for 16% infantry attack if we pick the infantry set, with 5% infantry health from the shield. 21 total stats compared to 29 on the big set. This is not a huge difference, but there's a curious thing here. You actually gain 12% on the infantry side in exchange for 8% total stats. This is only, I believe, the only time yet that I've seen where the number of total stats, the last one was kind of similar too, right? Like, the number of total stats you lose here is substantially lower than the number of total infantry attack you gain. But your losses in terms of infantry defense are tremendous. You go from 15 to nothing. And from infantry health, you go from 10 to 5. I don't know if I would give up all that for infantry attack. I don't know if I would do it at 340 days. Keep in mind there's a legendary piece of equipment here, while there are 2 on the big one. So I guess it's fair. 494 days on the big boy set though, so it is much faster to get this one done. I don't know. I don't think I would go with this either, but this is the first time I could say that if someone goes for this instead of for the top tier set, I wouldn't be too how would I say it? I wouldn't say they're making a mistake. I think that it's reasonable, but I don't know. It's a tough one, right? Because theoretically, as long as you maintain most of these, for example, the Shadow Legion Retribution, if you make it, you can then later on use it on the better set. You can swap the Shadow Legion Retribution with the better set's Quinn Soul, and then you can essentially, theoretically, well, actually, you can do it, right? You could create this set before creating the better set, and then build up on it. So essentially, you'd replace the helmet and the gloves, I believe, with the Sacred Grips eventually, and the Revival Helmet eventually. But in the meantime, you could rock those and then swap them out, and these would be still good equipment pieces for other infantry marches. So this is the first time I can see a reason why you would make an infantry attack set first, or in general. Our final set of this video is, of course, the archers. As we had before, you have a cheaper setup on the top, a godly set that's expensive in the middle, and then the attack one. Now, the attack one has a little bit of a cheat, and that is, the Trial of the Lost Kingdom is the best archer attack you can get out of weapons. It costs $100. VIP 16 pack gives it to you. If you don't spend money on that game, you have a solution, which is Blessed Blade, 4% attack. You lose 1% in the process, but it's fairly easy to get it out of Ian's Ball. It's available in all modes, and I can't get enough of them. The next piece of equipment, though, if you're not, once you're done with either one of these two, is the helmet. And in here, Abyssal Visage does have the best attack, and so we put it in here. However, there is a reason why I would take, even in Archer attack set, I would take the Revival Helm instead. I'll explain why once we get to our next piece of equipment, but for now, Abyssal Visage is where we stand, and I believe we don't have more Archer attack at all in here. When we go to the chest piece, though, there is a ton of Archer attack in here. 4% from Robe of the Forest Guardian. Then we have Dark Lord's Blessing with 5%. Quinn Soul has health. No, nothing here. Archer attack on Chainmail, 3%. Really strong, actually. 5% Archer attack out of Dark Lord's, out of Shadow Legion Retribution. You have Revival Plate, 5% attack, and even the Milanese piece has like 2%. The reason I would take the Revival Plate is, quite frankly, why would I take 5% from this if you can get it from here? And if you took the Revival Helmet instead of the Abyssal Visage, you'll get an extra 2% troop attack. So really, you're missing out on 1% attack, but you're essentially getting more stats out of this. Plus, like I said many a times, only 2 blueprints available of this guy. You don't want to use them on archers. In this case, I would stick with Cavalry for these helmets, period. So, yeah, I would definitely not go for this. I would go for that with this. However, for the sake of going to the extreme, we took the more attack. Going to our gloves, and here there was no choice. It was Ian's choice. Come on, the best, craziest archer attack available. Like, this is a dream that one day maybe we'll get there. But this is where it's at. And believe me when I tell you, there's very few pieces of equipment available out there that give you 8% of the one stat. You have 5% archer attack out of the sacred grips too, which is kind of nuts. Both of these have crazy archer stats. 1% archer attack down here. And that's about that. Ian's choice. Enjoy those 192 days, I believe, worth of crafting materials. 128 days crafting materials. It's a little bit less. 4 months to get enough materials for the one piece of equipment. In our pants department, the gladiator the gladiator stands out, right? I believe the gladiator stands out. I was like, wait, it doesn't have attack. And then I remembered there is no attack at all on the pants. So we went with the gladiator. Better choice for us. Of course, you could go this way with 5% over 4, but again, I'm going for the conservative route of going with an epic piece of equipment that you can get a bunch of from Shadow Legion Invasion, then from going through the Lost Canyon, which I've yet to get one of these. I don't really rank that high on Lost Canyon, and I always gave priority to Ian's Shio's return over the this. So it is what it is. I think I have a couple pieces of this though. For our final spot, Shio's return. Don't make a scene in here, and nobody does, with the exception of the edged boots. The only archer attack piece of equipment, I don't know. I mean, attack is attack. It is what it is, right? That's what we set out to figure out. And so putting all the sets back on the screen, you're getting 27% stats out of the attack set, which is 10 more than the cheap set, but 10 less, funny enough, than the big boy set. You're giving up on stupid amounts of archer health, 13%, and on archer defense and 5% archer health. You're essentially draining out your archer health and most of your archer defense for an extra 8% total on archer attack. Another case where it is not worth doing. You're gaining 8% on the one stat for the exchange of 10 total percent. I wouldn't give up a single total percent to get more of the one stat. Just saying, the more stats you get, the better. Add to that the fact that this realistically costs like 300 and some days to make, and the top tier one is 500 and some. It is somewhere along the way. There are pieces of equipment that they do share between them, so you could theoretically go with the pieces that are shared between them first. But other than that, yeah, that's that. And so we covered all three types of troops and equipment within them. Infantry was the only case where I could see that being potentially doable. Cavalry was probably not a good idea, and archers was definitely a no-no. And with that being said, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe before you leave. We got some crazy action coming into the channel very soon. Some big names that you all know are about to go down, and I'm not talking about Baba or Maverick. That's right. We got a lot of action coming up. You don't want to miss it. For now, thank you for the 4,000 people in my Discord. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you sooner rather than later. Peace.